Hey guys, it's Kirsten. We are going to tackle some serious glass glare. Um, I'm not going to lecture about feathering your light. Next time, take a picture of the glasses off, glasses on, and merge the eyeballs together is the quickest way because this honestly is a nightmare and it's going to kill your dollar per hour. Okay, that being said, I'm not going to say another word. I'm going to start with maybe this spot right here because it looks the easiest out of all of them. So I'm going to get the lasso right here and I'm going to go just barely, probably not even a centimeter around it, but make sure you select some of the good skin. So you're going to go like that. Edit, content aware fill. And that looks good to me, so I'm going to go ahead and hit OK. I think, and then I'm going to flatten it. Okay, I'm going to get the Band-Aid over here. Make sure it's the Band-Aid with a handle. It looks like a little suitcase. Because if you right click on it, there's a couple different ones. I don't know if I'm loving what's going on here. Actually, I think it's fine. Okay, and we're just going to kind of soften the edges a little bit. And then there's a couple little boo-boos here. Now, honestly, I wouldn't strive to make it perfect. I would strive to make it look good enough because I think that's going to be good. Okay, I'm just getting a couple other little boo-boos. Um, okay, that looks good. Maybe one. Oh, that just made it worse. Control Z goes back a step. So we're going to go ahead and leave that. Okay, so what I'm going to do with this eye is I'm going to take the lasso again, and I'm going to go directly down the middle of the eye and just go around the iris a smidge like that. Right click in the middle and do layer via copy. Then go edit, transform, and flip horizontal. Take the move tool. We're going to line up the catch light. I'm going to lower the opacity just so I can see both eyeballs. I'm going to hold the shift key down and I'm going to drag and line up where the eyeball needs to go. Then I usually go on and off. Double click to set it, you know. I feel like it might need to rotate just a smidge. Okay, so now I'm going to put it at 100% and put a layer mask. If it's a white layer mask, we're going to get a black brush up here. Use the bracket key to make it a little smaller. Now, I'm going to go click. Oh, it's at 20. Hang on. 100% opacity. Okay. So I think we can get away with bringing in the original under eye. Let me look. We have some original right here that we can get away with. I keep one finger on the X so I can go back and forth between original, not original. Okay, so I think that is as good as we're going to get for now. Oh, nope, I see I can erase in the original. Whoops, black. The original upper eyelid we can get away with keeping. Hold the shift key down. I'm just going to move it a smidge. Click the check mark. I think we can. Whoops, I'm on the wrong layer. Hang on one second. I was on the layer, not the layer mask. Okay, let's get the mask. Whoops, that's not what I wanted. All right, let's go. Whoops. Okay, so white reveals, black conceals. Okay, so this to me is good enough for this step. So I'm going to go ahead and flatten it. Click on the 3 lines and then flatten. And then we might be able to get away with the clone tool, which I hate. Everybody knows that. And we're going to clone the eyelid right here and just move it over a smidge. Okay, that looks, I think that looks good. Okay, since we're here, we're going to use the clone tool again. Let's bring the opacity down to like 40 something. And we're just going to kind of lightly paint in the skin over here that we're trying to correct. All right, I think that looks good. So now we have to tackle this boo-boo, but we could flip this corner of the eye if we had to. So first, let's hit Control J. I'm going to try cloning a little bit. So hit the Alt key, take a sample. Oh, I'm at 40%. Let's go to 100. So we have to keep sampling and painting and sampling and painting. Honestly, this might be good enough. I think I'm going to leave that. I think I'm going to leave that actually. Okay, so one thing we can try to do, I'm going to go ahead and flatten this. Sometimes this works and sometimes it does not. We're going to give it a try. We're going to take the lasso again. Do a rough selection of the glasses. Right click on the inside, layer via copy. Edit, transform, flip horizontal. Lower the opacity to like 20, well, maybe 30 something. It's on the move tool, which is the first tool up here. And we're going to kind of play around. Let's raise the opacity. Okay. Add a layer mask. Get the black brush, so hit X to make it a black brush. I'm going to right click and just make sure the hardness is all the way at 0%. Make it a little bigger here. And we're going to paint back in as much of the original as possible. Click on the move tool because I feel like it has to be at a slight. This is so tricky. Let's double click on the hand over here. Okay, from here, honestly, I think that looks pretty damn good. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and flatten the image. One more thing I'm going to do, just if I was her, I'm going to hit Control J. there's a bunch of ways to get rid of the hot spot right here on her head. But honestly, I'm going to click on the paintbrush. I'm going to lower the opacity to like, actually, you know what I'm going to do, I think? Hit clone, lower the opacity to like 30 something, and hit darken. Actually, I need to zoom up a little bit. All right, get the clone stamp. And we're going to just take little tiny samples. I feel like that last couple might be a little bit much. Okay. I think that's good. And then I'd run portraiture over it to smooth it all out. I'm going to flatten it. All right, I think that looks good. Okay, so I'm going to just go ahead and save it. I always call it I put an E at the end for edit so I know which ones I've edited. Okay, save and save. But now we're going to look at the other one over. Oh, see, her head is turned slightly, so we can't just. And I'm pixel peeping here, 300%, so it's okay that it's not crystal clear. But oh, I'm a little. I wish her head wasn't turned, because then we can just bring the eyeballs from one picture to another. I'm going to try the. Cross your fingers. You know what? That looks good enough. Oh, even that looks good enough. Okay, no saffron. My cat wants to get in my lap. Okay, get in my lap. Okay. I don't even know how to tackle this next. Because we can't clone, this to this because it's completely, completely different. So I'm going to try cloning. I'm going to change darken to normal. I'm going to bring the opacity to 100. I'm going to hit Control J to make a duplicate layer. And I'm going to, hit the. I'm going to make the brush smaller. Elias, I'm making a video. Sorry. My son just said his football pads smell like shit. Okay. I'm just going to literally do little tiny samples. Try to match the color. Oh my god, this is tricky. Oh, and that was my Great Dane yawning. And that's my son talking to the Great Dane. So Control Z to get back, because that one looked like caca. Let's lower the opacity so it blends a little better. Like I said, at this point, we're aiming for good enough. My god, my cat's making me push buttons. Saffron, stop it. Okay, I think that's going to be good enough. And we're going to do the same thing over here. We're just going to, let's start at 100. Oh my god, saffron's tangled up in my cord. Ah, okay. Let's get really tiny up in here. I'm going to sample her pupil. So hold down the Alt key and click on her pupil. Now go back here. And you can see I have one finger, you can't see it, take my word for it. One handle on the Alt, one finger, oh my god, one finger on the Alt. I'm going to lower it to 29% opacity just to, and I'm just like sample, click, 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 sample, click, 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 sample, click. sample click, sample click. Double click on the finger. And honestly, I think that's good enough because it's not a headshot. You know what I mean? It's her full body or whatever. So I'm going to go ahead and flatten the image. And then I'm going to go File, Save As. E, Save, Save. All right, I hope that helped.